See, look at having a look at this squad. One injury to a fast bowler, we don't have a replacement in the traveling reserves.
A very, very important part of Sri Lanka team, Kusaljanit Pereira, needs to find some form as
I think priceless. Myla's involvement is going to be.
సోదరు రసట మంచి కొమే క్యూమెన్
Hello and welcome to another episode of Around the Wickets, where we discuss everything that is cricket, both locally and internationally. And this week, the entire focus is going to be on the upcoming World T20 World Cup, and that's going to be very, very interesting with a lot of teams vying for that shorter format glory. And joining with me to chat about these things is former national cricketer Farveez Maharoof and also Sharmeegan Sridheran. Welcome, boys. It's an absolute pleasure to have you, and especially you, Maha. Been a while since you joined Around the Wickets. You had switched on to another language, the other language, and you're back at Around the Wickets. Welcome.
I mean, I only go the way Papare wants me to go. So certain people wanted me in Sinhalese, so I tried my luck in Sinhalese. And also, thank you for calling me a boy. You made my day.
All right, now let's take a look at the Sri Lankan squad for the World T20. The deadline was on the 10th of October. Sri Lanka did have a fabulous opportunity to try out their ranks just before the deadline with the Oman tour on the matches being played on the 7th and the 9th. Now, taking a look at this squad that was confirmed on the 10th, there are four new inclusions in Akila Dhananjaya, Bindu Fernando, Lahiru Kumara, and Pathum Nisanka. Lahiru Kumara and Bindu Fernando, of course, was due to the fact that Nuwan Pradeep had to retire hurt in the first game itself. Maha, how do you see Akila Dhananjay's and Pathum Nisanka's inclusion coming into play? Do you think it's because of anything that Hamidu Mendis and Praveen Jayavikrama did wrong in the Oman tour?
I think to start with, Naidu Madhusanga got injured in the third T20 against South Africa. So that was a forced change. That's why I think Bindo Fernando would have come in. And as well as you mentioned, the first Oman game, Nuwan Pradeep pulled his hamstring. So it looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks. So Lahiru Kumara correctly bowling so well in the Oman games makes a comeback. And also when it comes to coming to Mendes, I thought he was a pretty unlucky, if I'm being honest to you. He's renowned to be one of the best players when it comes to T20 cricket. For certain reasons, they have opted to keep Pathum Nisanka in the top of the order. And there was a tussle between Akila Dhananjaya and Praveen Jayavikrama. I mean, experience-wise, yes, we need experience in Akila. He has played in World Cups and he has that experience going forward, which we all know in T20s you need it. But looking at his past performance in the last two or so and the games against Oman, he hasn't been bowling that well, especially after the problem what he had with his off break. He's not bowling that much of it. So I reckon, and also not having a left arm spinner in the 15 could be a point, because if you look at the other countries, most of the countries have that luxury of having a left arm spinner, and also we have our spinner in Dhananjaya De Silva, who definitely, if he plays, is going to bowl at least a couple of overs for you. So I reckon that's a bit of a surprise for me. Akila Dhananjaya on form, making to the squad, leaving out Praveen Jayavikrama. That would have been an ideal option, and our squad would be, in every angle is covered when it comes to left arm spinner, right arm leg spinner, mystery spinner, fast bowling all rounder, spinning all rounder, genuine fast bowler. So everything is in the blocks. But when it comes to left arm spinner, that's a little concern for me going forward. But overall, I think a balanced squad.
Yes, very interesting point you made, Maha, because the two specialist spinners that we have are two mystery spinners. So if the mystery unravels, we are going to be in a very tight spot. Now, Shamikan, when we look at the squad, there are two named all-rounders in Manidu Hasranga and Samika Karnaratna. And there has been a lot of talk on Chamika should actually bat, because Chamika has been in thrilling form with the bat in the past couple of games, and also he's contributing with the ball as well. Are you satisfied with the number of all rounders that we are taking in, given the fact that we missed out on Lahir Madhushanka being injured?
Well, Stasana, I'm actually not surprised, or I'm not really gonna say that I'm supportive of the fact that we are going in search of all rounders. Because I'd say, see, look at having a look at this squad. One injury to a fast bowler, we don't have a replacement in the traveling reserves. We don't have fast bowlers in the traveling reserves. We have we maybe have a half-baked all-rounder in Kamilu Mendis. Then of course same with Ramesh Mendis, and then two bowlers and Lakshman on the cap. So I don't see a fast bowling replacement there if one injury of course comes for this one of our fast bowlers. So in that point of view, going in search of all rounders, I don't think is the way. I think it should be specialists, because when we are looking at specialists in this squad, I think as you mentioned, I won't go with Vanidu as a mystery spinner, but a mainstream spinner. Yes, he is there. And other than that, we have maybe we are going for so much of half-baked cricketers, as in half-baked options won't be the way forward, Sudarshana. And of course, if you want all-rounding options, we have Dhananjay De Silva, and just like Ma mentioned, Dhananjay De Silva, and even Charita Salanka can slot in with a few overs. So if we are going in search of all-rounders, I think we are going on the wrong direction.
So Darshana, just to add 2 points what just Megan said, when it comes to Vanidu Asaranga, what I mentioned was not a mystery spinner, probably spinner and a mystery spinner, my station. And the second thing, when the initial 15 was named, I was very, very surprised when Lairu Marusanka name was in the 15, because boy didn't play, haven't played for a while since before the team was named. And after the team was named, only he played the one and only T20 game where he got injured in that. So even at that time, I raised the question. At that time, we had only two genuine fast bowlers in Dushmantha Chamira and Nuwan Pradeep. And where is the other third seam bowler in case one breaks down if both plays together? So ideally now we have three frontline fast bowlers in the 50. So that should have been the way forward. We understand Shami Karwata go as a fast bowling all rounder, Dasun Chana goes as a fast bowling all rounder, but genuinely in T20 you got to play two fast bowlers in 11. And when we initially named the squad, it was only Dushmantha and Nuwan Pradeep, and there was no backup in the 15. There was in the traveling reserves, not in the 15. So now with sometimes injuries is a blessing to the squad depth and squad combination. Have extra fast bowler in the Fernando in case if Lyle Kumar and Dushman Chamira plays together.
Well, let me ask a question as an extension to your thought there, Maha. If you were to pick from this squad your starting 11, I know it will depend on the opposition. I know it will depend on the conditions of the pitch as well. But ideal co-11, if you are to pick, who will be your co-11?
I think definitely two fast bowlers, genuine. I mean, especially when you're playing small nations such as the Namibia, Ireland, all these guys. I think you need pace. So I reckon Dushmantha and Lairu Kumara will make that two fast bowlers role. And then you got Chamika as Karunath as a third seamer who can bat, as well as the two spinners in Vanidu Hasaranga and Mahesh Tikshana. That makes five. And the six batters for me would be Kusal Janit, Dinesh Chandimal, Banu Rajapaksha, Avishka Fernando, Dasun Shanaka. And the one spot at number 5, I mean, I'm saying number 5, I'd like to see Banu at number 3. I mean, I know he scored a good knock in the last game, won the game for us. But I just feel Banu at number 3, if he gets going, that's something that we can definitely rely on if he gets going. So I reckon I would love to see him at number 4. Gamble has paid off. So sometimes when the gamble pays off, you just back it and let the boy play at number 4. The number 5 position is the position that I'm a bit worried of, because you've tried out Charita Salanka at number 3, failed. Dhananjay De Silva in South African series failed. So number 5 position is a bit of a cause to concern with. But I reckon if we can get that place sorted as soon as possible, I think that will be my preferred 11 for the first game.
Right. So, in case Maha, if Banu is pushed down to the number 5 position or number 4, for that matter, your final place will be a toss up between Pathum Nisanka, Dhananjay De Silva, and Charita Salanka. Is that right?
Definitely. I think Dinesh Chandimal, Kusal Janitra will definitely open, and I don't see Pathum batting at number 3. I mean, if it's a number 3 spot, I think it's either Charita Salanka or Dhananjay De Silva. I mean, I think it's mostly heavily relied on Charita Salanka at the moment, but it all depends on the next practice. 2 games are coming up against Bangladesh and Papua New Guinea, so team combinations. Will definitely, the coaching staff will look into another option as well. I mean, this is my personal thought. I think Banu Rajapaksa, if we can utilize him better for Sri Lanka, if he bats at number 3, if he gets going, I understand. He has been very inconsistent at number 3, but he's somebody in the squad that we know if he gets going, he's an X-rated player similar to Kusal Janithara. If he gets going, the runs going to come pretty soon, and match-winning knocks can be played. So when you have those kind of players, you just need to back them, because we don't have much time to chop and change at the moment. We have selected already our 15, so we just have to trust them and give them confidence.
Brilliant. Megan, any drastic changes from the team, the core 11 that Maha named, or would you like to add somebody else in your opinion?
I'm, I'm just gonna ask Ma, is he leaving Avishka Fernando out of the 11? Because at number 3, if it is Charito, Dhananjay Silva, why is Avishka Fernando going to bat? So he should be my number 3 if that is the case.
No, what I'm saying, Mavishka at number 4. I said Navishka at number 4. That's a gamble. We played him at number 4. He's an opener predominantly, and with number 4, the gamble what we took, batting him at number 4 in the Oman Gas have paid off. So he's in brilliant form. So when batsman is scoring runs in a particular position, you don't change. You just want him to continue. And all I said was Avishka Fernando at number 4. He's in my 11 for sure. I mean, he's the best batter we have at the moment.
Well, in that case, then we'll have to push Banu Rajapaksa at 5 or either 3 up there.
Yeah, 3 or 5.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. At the moment, yes, Oman game, yes, Bhanuka disco a match-winning knock. But my personal opinion, we could utilize him better for betterment of Sri Lanka's batting depth. At him batting at number 3, because we need because if you take a look at batting scores in the power plays, it's not been great, even in the South African series. So you need those players who could hit big shots. I mean, proper cricketing strokes to bat at number 3. So that's why I said Bhanuka, if I have the option, I would love to bat him at number 3. And the number 5 position, it will be a tussle between Charita Salanka or Dhananjay Silva.
Well, then, Sudarshan, in that case, in that case, I'm going with Farveez's 11, because I might have lost Avishka Fernando's name in connection because I didn't hear it earlier. If that is the case, yes, I'm totally backing Ma's idea, Sudarshan, because we really need to up our power play game, Sudarshan. That is where we are losing games. So we have to play power play better, and for that, I don't think anyone better than Bhanuka Rajapaksa and Kusal Perera both being up there, and of course Avishka Fernando. All those 3 being up there is a must for that case.
There's a thing from your country that I'm totally hooked on, and I am not talking about your tea.
Lanka Tiles, designed for you, desired by the world.
Very interesting there. Maha, like you said, I think the 5th, number 5, will be a toss-up between Charita Salanka and Dhananjay De Silva. And do you think whoever is bowling better during the period will get the nod? Because we are looking for that third spinner as well.
No, I think now batting at number 5 purely has to be a batsman. I mean, you forget about the bowling in case if Charit or Dhananjay gives you a couple of overs, that's a bonus for me, because you leave out the vice captain in the first 2 games. That's itself a huge call. So I reckon batting at number 5, I don't look at the bowling options. It has to be runs and runs and runs, because number 5 position is a very important position in T20 cricket. That's where a batsman could sit in for 3-4 balls, and you need to get going as soon as possible if the batting team is going well. So I reckon bowling will be a bonus. Batting is a main criteria there.
Brilliant. Okay, now we've come to the basically the doorstep of the World Cup, and Sri Lanka was quite lucky at the fact that we managed to go to Oman early, played 2 games. But Sri Lanka managed to win both the games, but I don't think anybody will be very flattered at the way in which Sri Lanka managed to get over the line in both the games. First game, Sri Lanka scored 162 for 4 after giving a lot of us a little bit of a heartache and a heart attack, I'd say, because the first 3 wickets fell very, very cheaply, and largely due to the heroics of Avishka Fernando and Dasun Chanak in the latter part of the overs. Sri Lanka got to a score of 162, and then came the second game where The two royalists, the Banu Rajapaksa and Samika Karnaratne, got together to see us through. Now, Megan, we early in the weeks we've been speaking about how Sri Lankan bowling is going to be the main contributor for Sri Lanka in the upcoming World Cup. But in these two games, it's fair to say that Sri Lankan bowling couldn't really put their hand up because the Omanis were quite up to the task when it came to Sri Lankan bowling.
Agreed, Sudarshan. I think we really did not bowl up to par because we were talking so high of our bowling uh, in the past tours, but I think we really didn't live up to that mark. And when we compare that to the way the Omanis bowled, I think we are really lacking behind. But thanks to Lairu Kumara's pace, and of course when Dushmanta Chamirak slots in, I think the first round shouldn't be that tough for us with this kind of a bowling attack. But going into the second round and trying to beat the top nations, I think we'll need to up the game there.
Yes, behind, but importantly, I think what went a major positive for Sri Lanka was the fact that some of our batters who were lacking confidence did manage to get that. Dasun Chanaka getting a very good knock in the first game, Avishka Fernando showing some brilliant form, and also Bhanuku Rajapaksa coming into the act in the second game. How did you see our batting? We still look a little crumbly at the top, but apart from that, how did you see our batting in the two games against Oman?
I think correct, as you correctly said, yes, some batters who needed some time in the middle, some runs in the bag, did come into the fore. So I reckon, I mean, when it comes to a T20 World Cup or any World Cup for a matter, you need everyone for firing at the right time. So I reckon with three of the players coming into form, especially, I mean, when I say crunch games, playing smaller nations can be tricky on the day, and playing qualifications is even tougher and even more pressure. So I reckon when you play in these sort of games, you need the individuals to be of their best when it comes to form, when it comes to their confidence. So I reckon batting has been an issue, yes, in the last few series, and individuals turning up, few new combinations tried out, working out. Everything is at the moment going towards the right path. I mean, it's tough to call early doors, what's to predict and stuff. But all in all, I think watching the IPL games played at Abu Dhabi looks like good wickets to bat on, and a huge stadium as well. So it's all to play for when it comes to these three important qualifying games.
Absolutely. And before we move on to the qualifying game, Sri Lanka will be playing two warm-up matches against
Sudarshan,
Bangladesh and Papua New Guinea on the 12th and the
sorry,
14th.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sudarshan.
Yeah, go on.
Just to add on to what Ma spoke about the form of players, there is another point of concern for us with Vanidu Asranga and Dushmanta Chamira both sitting on the bench at RCB. They have not gotten game time enough. So I think as we spoke so much, the warm up games, the two warm up games that we are gonna get before prior to the World Cup and the three qualifiers are gonna be very crucial in that matter to find form for those two players, because sitting in the bench and coming back is never easy. And I think that is going to be a concern for me personally. I'm really worried about that point, Sudarshan, because they are the two main weapons for us in the bowling unit, and we saw how the bowling unit suffers when those two cogs are not there. So I think them coming into these games and we having this qualifiers is actually could be a blessing for us before going into the bigger tournament. But uh, I still think that that is also still a tricky game. We can't take any nation easy here, so it'll be a point of concern for Sri Lanka, especially.
Well, interestingly, that brings to the point that I was trying to make. The two warm-up games against Bangladesh and Papua New Guinea is going to be very, very important, especially the game with Bangladesh, because they will provide us with some very, very stiff competition. And like Maha said, you can never write off any nation when it comes to the shorter format of the game. They can turn up and upset you. And also, I think, like you mentioned, Megan, Vanidu Hasaranga, and also Dushman Shamir, it's going to be important for them to come back into form. But more importantly, I think Maha, a very, very important part of Sri Lanka team, Kusal Janit Pereira. needs to find some form as well, isn't it? He has been out for a while, and a lot is expected of him. So it'll be very important for Kusal Janit Pereira to have a very decent run in these two games before the actual tournament starts.
Yeah, quite a few interesting points. Yes, Vanidu and Dushmant hasn't had any much game time in IPL, but all I can say is being a fast bowler myself, if you look at Dushmant Chamira's workload in the last 6 months, he has played every game that Sri Lanka has played. So that's a heavy workload. And also Vanidu Asaranka has done the same. So these boys going away to RCB, only Vanidu playing a couple of games, Dushmant not making his debut. Still, they would have practiced a lot. Those are professional boys. I mean, I know both of them very well. They work really hard in the nets. So at least there is some form going on. And if there is no training at all, then yes, definitely I will be worried. But knowing those two boys, they would have really worked hard in the nets, getting those mileage in the legs. As a fast ball, you need mileage in those hamstrings and the calves. So that's exactly what Dushman Chamira would have done. Keeping up that workload. And when it comes to Kusal Janitera, yes, slightly concerned there for me. But I mean, those kind of players, you just got to trust them on their abilities. I mean, we all know if he gets going, what damage he could do. So I reckon in the two practice games, I would love to see him at least play one game just to get some game time. Get the intensity level high. We saw him during the South African series straight away, rushed in for the second game. Hasn't had much practice sessions in the leading up to the second T20 against South Africa. Got a bit of a shorten of breath. And the third game pushed him again to play the game. Then comes to building up the match practices wasn't there. We were in a desperate situation to get Kusal Janitera to play, and we paid the price by getting him injured. Whereas now we had Oman game, we rested him. So I'm pretty sure the coaching staff would have increased his workload. Now it's very important when it comes to the crunch game, especially the World Cup warm-up games. At least make him play one game. Get him to climatize to the Abu Dhabi conditions, play a game minimum, and then from there just trust on his abilities. Because I'm pretty sure if Kusal gets going, it will take a lot of good bowling to stop him.
Yes, absolutely. I think, like Maha said, there is no doubt in Kusal Chanit Pereira's ability, and I think he's one of those batsmen who can change the game. And we have a couple of those players in our mids. Megan, anything to add on Kusal Chanit?
Yes, Sudarshan. I think one interesting point there would be if Kusal Pereira did not play a single game before the World Cup. I think that will be one of the first times, or at least the very least number of times that Kusal Pereira and Chandimal will be opening together. I don't think they've opened in any innings before, and especially on T20 format. So I think that is also a concern. I mean, in which World Cup do you send your openers just for the first game in the World Cup?
Well, chopping and changing hasn't been anything new to Sri Lanka opening pair, isn't it? We've had so many openers during the past couple of years, and I think players are now slowly but surely getting used to opening with a different partner every other game. So hopefully, we'll be okay with that. Now, some positive news that came out of something very negative for Sharmeegan and a lot of the Mumbai fans. Mumbai was knocked out of the playoffs, resulting in something very positive for Sri Lanka. Mahela Jayawardene is joining the Sri Lankan camp a little earlier than he would have expected and anticipated. Maha, you played with Mahela for a long time. You've been under his captaincy, and what is the input that I mean? How valuable will be Mahela's input coming into this squad as a mentor? Because he's had a very recent stint in similar conditions, and how valuable is his input going to be?
I think priceless. Myla's involvement is going to be. That's the word I'm going to use because his experience, his tactical knowledge is so brilliant. He's someone that you could have a chat for 5 minutes and learn so many things. So I reckon that's a blessing in the sky for these peasant boys and the entire squad, and the coaching staff is already in Abu Dhabi leading up to the tournament. So I reckon Myla will bring that extra bit of knowledge and also inside information when it comes to the conditions of Abu Dhabi ground as well. So you could easily rely on Mahila's ability when it comes to that, but also he has a certain number of days to deliver. So it's a bit little too harsh to put everything on Mahela. I mean, you just need to give him a little time to settle down, to understand the individuals much more. I mean, one thing is to being away from the squad and learning about a player, but once you start mingling with the player as a coach, you'll understand even more. So there's only a handful that Mahela could do, but also when it comes to the confidence side, I think it's a huge confidence booster for Dasun and the young boys who's already there. So I reckon that's that in one word. If I can define that, I would say it's priceless to have some sort of some company like Mahela Javardhan in the squad.
Well, some very, very interesting thoughts there from both Farveez Maharoof and also Sharmeegan Sridheran regarding what to expect in the coming World Cup. It's going to be a very, very interesting affair. And we know you are as excited as we are when it comes to this World Cup. The Papare.com will be bringing you action from the venues as well, with Damit Veerasinghe set to travel to the Middle East to bring this tournament close to you. So make sure that you join the Papare.com, as we will bring you all the news as it happens in all our platforms, on our Facebook, on our YouTube, and also on the website. So do join with us throughout the World Cup to receive news as it happens. And that's the end of Around the Wickets for this week. Until we meet again, I'm Sudarshan Apiri signing off for the Papare.com.
Stay on the ball with the Papare Sports News alerts. Don't miss out on what's happening in the world of sport. Type sports and send to 678 to register. 30 rupees per month. Conditions apply.